Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday morning. Welcome to your weekly dose. I am Laura Wilkerson, nurse practitioner and founder of Advanced Medical House Calls and Laura FNP. So, last week we were discussing behaviors, and I got so many direct messages and questions, and people asking mostly about aggression and how they can care for their person with aggression. It seems to be the behavior that most people struggle with. I guess that's probably because caring for your person with dementia can be emotionally challenging, right? So you're giving your whole day, you're spending your whole day, and you're caring for your person. And by the end of the day, when you're ready to wind down and you're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, your day is coming to a close, and you go into mom or dad's room or your aunt or uncle, and you go in there and you're ready to tuck them and get them ready for bed. But your person is acting out aggressively. This can be challenging. I also know someone who was caring for a person in an assisted living, and while they didn't expect it, when they were going to care for the person and get them cleaned up for their day and get them ready for the morning, the resident became physically aggressive, and sometimes that has to do with our approach. If we're uncertain or we're unclear with that person when we go in there as to what our intentions are, they often might become confused, and when they become confused, they act out. So today I just want to quickly list the types of aggression and then get into how you can effectively manage them, looking back at last week's guide that I gave you with the look tool. So aggression can come in a couple of different ways. It can be verbal, where somebody is shouting and hollering at you, cussing or swearing, or just saying plain mean things. Physical, of course, they can they can bite, they can scratch, they can kick, they can punch, or they can use an object that's close to them to hit you or someone else. Disinhibition or lack of control is another act of aggression. Wandering, that can be considered aggression. It depends on what the person's doing. If somebody's standing at your front door and they're telling you that they want to go home and they're beating down the door and they're pushing and they're shoving to get out of the door, well, that can be considered aggression as well. Sundowning, which a lot of us are familiar with, that can be a form of aggression depending on what type of behaviors that your person is actually exhibiting. So, drawing back from last week, I talked about a tool that I use when I go in to see families just like yours. I named it the Look tool. And I often talk about this with families. The first thing that you need to do is listen to your person. What are they trying to tell you when they become aggressive? Are they shouting and screaming? Do you have something on the television that might seem a little bit aggressive to them? And so they're acting out, their behaviors are coming out because they are watching television and it's actually aggressive, or the news. Are they becoming aggressive because of what's happening in the news and they don't quite understand it? What is happening in their environment? I know that oftentimes when we have a time change, that people can be affected by that. So the sudden onset of more daylight can confuse your person. They're used to going to bed at 8 o'clock, but you don't notice that it's 9 o'clock. And so you haven't put them down for the evening yet or got them ready because you're busy in your day. So what's happening in their environment? So when your person's being aggressive, when you first walk in the room, stop, take a breath, and listen to what your person is saying to you. Then you need to kind of observe what's going on. If you're in a controlled environment like your own home, you know what your day-to-day activities look like. You know what the routine of your person looks like because you're the one that's leading it. You're the one that's directing that. But if something happens, you have an unexpected guest or a visitor, or it's just chaotic in your home. Maybe you have construction going on. I don't know. But whatever that is, it could be upsetting your person. What are those triggers that happen during the day that upset your person that make them aggressive or act out in a certain way? What's happening to them that makes them feel that whatever they're yelling or hollering about is real? And then you need to take that breath, take that step back, and acknowledge that what they're feeling is real. It could be completely absurd. They could be upset because they lost their wallet, or they lost their purse, or they've misplaced something. And that aggression and anger comes out at you because they're accusing you of stealing their items. Well, that's very common, and you have to remember that, number one, you didn't steal their items because you don't need them, and number two, that they probably misplaced them, and that now we have to go and look for them. I think the next best thing that you can do is offer reassurance, which would be, in the case of the missing items, hey mom, or dad, I didn't steal your wallet, I didn't steal your purse. You were walking around with it yesterday and you put it beside the couch. So offering them reassurance in a very clear and concise and empathetic manner, means of communication to them, will help them calm down, realize that maybe this isn't a place where I need to speak heightened, and I can calm down and lower my tone. Or maybe it will help redirect them to something else, like the fact that they remember that they put their purse someplace else. If you absolutely cannot redirect them that way, then find something else to do. Redirect them in another manner if they're redirectable. And speak slow. Maintain eye contact with your person. Make sure you're looking directly at them. Try not to offer them choices if they're being aggressive, like, do you want to do this or do you want to do that? Because their brain at this time isn't working in the manner that it should be. Make sure you acknowledge them, acknowledge their feelings, and let them know, I see that you're upset. I see that you're angry, and we could do, and lead them into something else. Now, if your person is physically aggressive, I am going to recommend that you do a couple of different things. Number one, you can remove yourself from the environment and come back in a second. But if it's you that their anger is directed at and not just an unknown, then it's going to probably remind them that they're angry at you when you walk back in the room. So you can walk out, you can go take a breath, you can go, do something different, and then go back in later and see if your person remembers that they're still angry at you. And if they're not, good, you can move on. And if they are, you can either remove yourself or try to redirect or get them involved in something else. And the last thing, of course, is to keep calm. You got to remember that your person's brain is changed and they're no longer the same person that they were. It may be very difficult to care for someone who didn't treat you right in the first place. The best example of this that I have is I was talking to somebody through messaging, and they were telling me it's very, very hard for me to care for my person. They were not kind to me when I was growing up, and here I am, the only one of my siblings who is actually caring for my person. That's a very difficult situation, because when your person becomes aggressive because that's the way that they were, and they become more aggressive, it's very hard for you because you're drawing on those past memories. But maybe your person was never aggressive, and suddenly you're seeing that they are becoming aggressive. It doesn't happen with everyone. Aggressive behaviors don't happen with everyone. It's not a part of normal aging or normal dementia. There is no normal dementia. There is no normal with how a person is going to progress through dementia. When you've met one person with dementia, that's the one person that you've met. So I think that when you're looking in and you're looking at your situation, just make sure that you yourself are taking care of you. Stay calm, take a breath. If you need to exit the room, if you've got another person in your home, maybe you can lean into them. If it's just you, go out, take a breath, walk back in, and use the look method. You need to listen to your person, observe what's going on, offer them reassurance, and then you stay calm and try and diffuse the situation. I know that managing aggressive behaviors in dementia can be quite difficult, and a lot of patience is needed. But hopefully these strategies have helped and will help you so that you can create a calm environment using empathetic communication, making sure that you're staying calm, showing your person validation and empathy, identifying those triggers so that the next time you can try to mitigate some of those. And lastly, just grab a notebook. I recommend this to everybody. Grab a notebook and write down those things that you noticed in your person that set them off, so that maybe tomorrow or maybe the next week, you can avoid those triggers in your person. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. As always, when we come together as a community, we all help each other and learn from one another. Feel free to DM me, and I will put that guide in the comments again below so that you can download that. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Have a great week, everyone.